Hey guys, today I am going to be doing an updated bookshelf tour. I did one of these about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. I'm pretty sure it was last summer, and my bookshelf is pretty much completely full now. I got this bookshelf 2 Christmases ago, so not last Christmas but the one before, and I had it probably halfway filled at that point. Now it's pretty much completely filled and I need to get another one. And now I also have a TBR cart, which I did a video of everything on my TBR cart, which I will link in the iCards in case you guys want to check that out. These are all the books on my bookshelf, how I have it organized and everything like that. My bookshelf is kind of organized by category / genre as well as author, so it's not organized by color or anything like that. It's kind of just grouped by books with the same author or series. We'll start off up here. Hopefully you can see it. That's what it looks like. That's the very top of my bookshelf. Up here on my bookshelf I have all of my series. Now these are mostly pretty much all fantasy series that I try to keep them kind of all together. So over here I have my Percy Jackson series, which I have not actually read this yet. I started reading it and then I wasn't really like into it at the moment, but this is what this looks like. I got this on Amazon when it was on sale for, I don't even know, $13, $15 for 5 books. So I thought that was a steal and had to get it right away. Also never read Percy Jackson and I know it's a classic. I'm also pretty sure that they're coming out with a new movie soon, so I thought I wanted to get that. Next up I have my Sarah J Maas books. Well, actually I'll talk about these first. I just have some standalone fantasy books up here. I got these used on sale at Books A Million, and I've just set them up here because there's really no other room for them and I kind of wanted to keep my fantasy all together. I haven't read those yet, but next up I have all my Sarah J Maas books and my book club candle, which I've had this for so long. I never even burnt it. I feel like I should burn it now that I actually have a book club. Link down below if you want to join. But they're all my Sarah J Maas books. So I have my Throne of Glass series. These are like the white covers. Some of them are not white. There's like 2. This one and the Assassin's Blade are not. But as you can tell, there's one missing because I just started reading it and I'm reading Assassin's Blade first. Then I'll read all the rest. And I know some of them you have to do tandem reading and that type of thing. This is the only series from Sarah J Maas that I have not read. So I have that right here, and then over here, if you can kind of see, is I have my favorite Avatar by Sarah J Maas, and I read all of those, and then I have the big chunky hardcover copy of A Court of Silver Flames because paperback did not come out when I bought the series and I had to read it right away. And then I have my Crescent City books, which I have the first one, which is paperback, and then the second one is the same big hardcover as Court of Silver Flames, which I've read both of these, absolutely loved them both, and I'm so excited because I'm pretty sure the new Crescent City book, which if you know, you know, I think it comes out on January 30th of 2024. When I went on Amazon and I was looking at it, that's when it said it would be released. So I don't know if that's the official release date. I haven't actually checked, but they haven't even released the cover yet, and I'm so excited to see because these covers are so beautiful. I love them. So anyways, I have those all right there, which I've read. All of this, all of that I have not read yet. I have a lot of series on this shelf that I haven't read, so keep that in mind. Next up, if you come over here, now I will bring you closer because it won't cut the top off, but I have my first big series that I ever read, which literally was 2 Januaries ago. I read this for the very first time and watched the movies for the very first time. This is the Harry Potter series. So with it, I have my Harry Potter bookmark that I read all the books using, and then I also have this little Snape thing. It came in like a little pack, a blind pack where you just would open it and it had cute little things because I became obsessed really quickly. And then last January, so of this year, I got to go to Universal Studios and I got a wand, so I have my wand over here. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you probably know whose wand this is, but this is Hermione's wand, and it's the interactive one for when you're around at Universal Studios and you can do all of the fun stuff. Absolutely love it. Need to rewatch it or reread sometime soon. Books are obviously way better than the movies, but I have a really fun kind of collection of these, which is really cute. And one's missing because I'm loaning it to my friend, and I doubt that he will even read it, honestly. I think he's not even read any of it yet, but that's my Harry Potter little collection on my bookshelf right there. Next up, we have some more fantasy series. So I have the Six of Crows duology, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. This is still in the packaging, obviously, so I haven't read it yet, but I want to get to it this year, hopefully, because I've heard so many good things, and I know it's one of Sarah Caroli's 5-star reads. I think this one is, and I think she said she rated this one 4 stars, and I trust her with my life. I think this is called the Infernal Devices series. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and I got this on sale as well at Books A Million. These are used. No, a really big fan of these books is Rachel Catherine, and I haven't read anything by Cassandra Clare, but I know she's just an OG author in the fantasy world, and I think it's also young adult fantasy, so I've heard great things. Want to read that soon. Next up, I have this series by Charlotte St. Clair. I think it's just the Hades and Persephone series. A Touch of Darkness, A Touch of Ruin, and A Touch of Malice. I read this first one, absolutely loved it. Second one, I couldn't really get through, wasn't loving it, and then I haven't even touched the third one yet, so that's that for those series. I will probably try to read it again when I'm in the mood for it, but you know, these are really, really spicy from what I remember. This is the Entangled with Fae series, which I have some books sitting right here. As you can see, this is just where I keep the books that I've read this month so far, so ignore that, but this usually goes with this series. So this is the Entangled with Fae series by Tassanja Odette. We read the first one last month for our book club, and I have the rest of the books here. So there's Curse of the Wolf King, which I just showed you, Heart of the Raven Prince, A Taste of Poison, and A Kiss of the Selkie. These are all fairy tale retellings, so this one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Next up, we have The Cruel Prince. This is the first and the last book. I don't have the middle one because I got this one on sale. I haven't read this yet. I've heard so many great things though, so I want to read that soon. Next up, we have These Hollow Vows and These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. I really, really love this fantasy series. I think it's a great starter fantasy series, and I would highly recommend it for anyone who's wanting to get into fantasy. So that is my fantasy shelves, which I have a couple more on the shelf below here. Let's move on to the next shelf. So down here I have 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker. I read 50 Shades of Grey probably like 2 or 3 years ago when I started reading again, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like a masterpiece, and now since I read so much more, I'd probably rate it even lower than I rated it at the time. Haven't read 50 Shades Darker. I have Shatter Me and Ignite Me. I don't know why these are out of order. I'm pretty sure Ignite Me is like the third book, and I don't know why I got it. I found them out of order, I think on accident. I started Shatter Me and I didn't really get into it that much, but it wasn't because I didn't like it. I just wasn't in the mood for it when I started reading it, so it's just been patiently waiting back on the shelf, as well as this book. We have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I read last October and really liked. Didn't read the second one yet, but I will get to it. It was a great book. 2 of my favorite books ever by one of my favorite authors, Madeline Miller. We have Circe and The Song of Achilles. Both Greek mythology books, both absolutely love, 5-star reads. Next up, I have the Inheritance Game series. I have the paperback for the first one, and then the 2 other ones are hardcover. I've read the first 2, haven't read the last one yet, but for some reason I'm kind of feeling like I might want to read that soon. And then next up, I have One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next, which are out of order, so let me fix that really quickly. There we go. I guess it's a duology. This is kind of like a sequel. It has like the sibling characters of this book. I really like this book, and I thought it's a very mild thriller. I'm not a huge thriller fan. Like, it makes me really nervous to read scary thrillers, so I thought it was a good, you know, mix for me. I have my Emily Henry section right here, which I have another Emily Henry book, but it's on my nightstand. So I also have Book Lovers by Emily Henry, but we have Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation, which I read both of these. And then I have my Heartstopper books, which I also read both of these and really liked. Then I have a little Colleen Hoover area over here. Most of these I got and read at the beginning of my reading journey, so I've read pretty much all of these except for, I think, just this one I haven't read. Colleen was the most popular author when I started reading. Moving down to my bottom 3 shelf, I first of all have this shelf right here, which is a majority romance. There's also a lot of YA books on here, but over here I have the Selection series, which I really liked when I read it last summer maybe. Super cute YA princessy series, as you can tell by the covers, with real people, which is not my favorite. But we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and then I have some John Green books here, which I really love John Green. I need to read this soon. I read both of these and love them so much. I need to read this, and I'm pretty sure this is a movie too. I haven't watched it, but We have some Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I read all of these. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think she's such a great author. I have 2 Casey McQuiston books, which I've read both of. I think I actually DNF'd this one. This one was really good. This one was not my favorite. Then I have Finley Donovan is Killing It and Finley Donovan Knocks Them Dead, which is a duology, I'm pretty sure. Haven't read either of these, but I hope to. Probably in the fall time. Next up, I have some Lucy Foley books. So I have The Guest List and The Hunting Party. I've read The Guest List last fall and I really enjoyed it. I have not read The Hunting Party, but I will definitely this fall. I have My Year of Rest and Relaxation, which I read and really liked. We have We Were Liars, which, holy crap, I didn't even remember that I had this book on my shelf. I read that such a long time ago. Then we had Then She Was Gone. This is the book that got me back into reading. And it's a really good, really good thriller, but it is pretty disturbing, I will say. And I'm not someone who likes disturbing books, so it was kind of a lot for me, but it was a very great book. You can't tell what's gonna happen. It's probably the best thriller that I've ever read. I've read all of these over here, and I read majority on this shelf down here. But yeah, we have The Love Hypothesis, Every Last Word, Every Summer After, Summer of '69, Summer of Broken Rules, and Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. I love pretty much all of these books. This one wasn't my favorite, but I loved pretty much all of the rest of them. And I'm really excited for K.L. Walther's new book. I think it's called What Happens After Midnight. I'm definitely getting that when it comes out, or at least adding it to my Amazon wish list to buy eventually. And then next up, this shelf is organized kind of by classic books as well as nonfiction and poetry. So over here, I have a couple of poetry books. Homebody, Aphrodite Made Me Do It, The Princess Saves Herself in This One, and Lord of the Butterflies. These are just nonfiction books right here. Next up, we have my classics. So I have The Great Gatsby, really cool edition that I got from Blackstone Publishing. They were a really good audiobook for it too. And then I have The Bridges of Madison County, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and The Giver by Lois Lowry, as well as Siddhartha by Herman Hesse, which I love. I've read these 3. I haven't read this or this or this or this, but I read that. So those are all the classics that I have over here. Then I just have a bunch more kind of romancy books. So we have some Mia Sheridan, Funny You Should Ask, one of the Bridgerton books, which just wasn't my favorite. I won't read any of the rest of the Bridgerton books, I don't think. Historical fiction, All the Light We Cannot See, really great book. Princess for Christmas, I absolutely love that. Tried to read these this year, but I just could not get through anything. I don't think I read this. I think I tried to start reading it and I didn't end up, or maybe I did. Honestly, I have no recollection of the things that happened in the month of December. These are all Christmas books right here. This is In Croissants, The Last Summer of Ada Bloom. I've read this, haven't read this. Mary Jane, my favorite book. Have read that. Pack Up the Moon, read that. This is a super cute little middle grade book. Mistwick School of Music Craft. Really cute cover. I read that. Perks of Being a Wallflower, another one of my favorites. Pumpkinheads, this is like a graphic novel book. And then Love in Other Words, Hello, Goodbye, and Brightside. Absolutely love all 3 of those. And then I'm just gonna bring you down here to my last shelf. So over here, I just kind of have some book holders like that you put your book in and zip it up. It keeps it nice and all good, like the pages don't get messed up. These are all books that I had to read for school, minus this Taylor Jenkins Reid book. These are just down here because there's no room up here on this shelf where my other Taylor Jenkins Reids are. But yeah, these are all books that I read for school, which are really good, and I ended up buying them used, so I just keep them. They're great books. Then the rest of the books on this shelf are all hardcovers, so I have Carrie Soto's Back, some Ellen Hildebrand books, which she is like my absolute favorite summer author. We have 28 Summers, The Hotel in Nantucket, which I've read all of these. Becoming by Michelle Obama, I haven't read this yet. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, that's a really great Chinese mythology story, which I absolutely loved. Ariadne, Greek mythology, love that. Felix Ever After, I have not read that. The Best Laid Plans, I read that a while ago. They both died at the end again a while ago. This one a while ago too. And I have this Olive Blake book that I have not read yet. I have some TJ Klune, Under the Whispering Door, one of my favorite books. Absolutely love that one. Yes, No, Maybe So, some Sally Rooney, and How to Be an Anti-Racist, which is actually a banned book in Florida. But those are all of the books on my bookshelf, and that's how my bookshelf is organized. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Hopefully I can get a new bookshelf soon, and when I do, I will show you me organizing it and putting all my new books on it. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading!